Okay, so this will be probably one of the easiest examples that I'm going to show. So this is going to be a really quick lecture, which is the order by clause. I'm going to select everything from the Sequila.film and let's check it. There you go. Now I want to order the movies, and this is where the order by clause enters. I want to order the movies by their length. So I want to sort this table by this column right here. What I can do is do order by length and then just run this one, and there you go. We have here our table fully sorted. As you've noticed, the movies that have less length are in the beginning, and the movies with more length, so for example, we have here a movie with 185 minutes that is at the end of the table. So we sorted our table by this column. What we also can do is to sort it descendingly, starting on the highest value to the lowest value. And I can run this one using the keyword desk from descending. And in this case, what we have then is the movies with the more minutes on the top and the movies that have less minutes here on the bottom. So we just flipped our result using this keyword desk from descending. The default one is ascending from ASC. If you omit this keyword, you will have the table ordered from lowest value to the highest value. What happens if we sort for example, description? So I'm going to put here description and let me run, or title. Let me put title, order by title. In this case, what we'll have is an alphabetic order. Okay, so we start on the A's. We go until the Z's. If there is any Z, there is a Z here. So it goes until the end, until the Z's. And if we do order by title descendingly, what we'll have is then the Z's come first and the A's are here at the bottom of the table. So if we sort this just alphabetically by the title, okay? So we can sort by numeric columns or by text columns. Another thing, we can sort by multiple columns. For example, I can sort by the length and then sort by the rental duration using a comma. So my table will be sorted first by the length, and then the ties, where we have a tie in the length, will be sorted by the rental duration. As we will see here, if I run this query, what we'll have is, for example, here there are several movies that have the same length, as you can see, so 46, and then the next column of sorting is the rental duration, because we've specified that this is the second column that will sort our table after the first one, which is of course the length. So order by comes last in the table that you are doing. I can even do a query that contains all the clauses that we speak so far, and for example, I'll do the following. I'll do, for example, select rating. Let's do again a group by the average length from, and let me write as avg length from the Sequila.film. And now what comes next? We can use a where clause to filter the rows that will come before the aggregator function. So what will happen is that we are excluding movies. For example, if I exclude here the movies that contain where the length less than 100, removing those from the calculation with the where clause. Remember that the where clause is applied before you do the calculations, before the aggregator functions. And then where length, I can use group by rating, and let me run this until here as an example. Let me run this. Oops, I had a typo here. It's AVG and it's not average. Sorry about that. Average is from another language. Now let me run this one. There you go. So as you can see, I have this average length only considering the movies that have less than 100 minutes. I'm selecting only the movies that have less than 100 minutes. That makes my average come down basically on the movies, because I'm only doing the average for the movies that have less than 100 minutes. Okay, so what I've done is here a group by. As you can see, these are the averages that we have. So we have averages that are pretty low, lower than when we use, for example, here. Let me go here to the average. Here we'll have much higher averages. Why? Because we are including every movie. In this clause right here, we are filtering before doing the average. We are filtering those movies that have more than 100 minutes, so or equal than 100 minutes, and they will not enter into the calculation. Okay, so we have here the group by. We have here, for instance, R has 75 minutes, G as 69 minutes.86. Now what I can do is do an having, for example, having average length over 70. And in this case, I'm applying a filter to the calculation that was already done with the aggregator functions. Okay, let me run this one. And then here on the output table, this G rating will be removed because it doesn't match the condition that we have on the having. Let's see. There you go. So it went away basically. Now we can also do order by what? Average length. And in this case, we'll sort this table by this average length. Let's see it. There you go. So as you can see, the order by can be done for the output of the query itself. The order by is normally used for the columns that we see on our output in the query, and it comes at the end of all the clauses that we've studied so far. To recap and finishing this section, select what you want for the table, functions to create calculated columns or columns that you want to aggregate by, from to indicate the table that you want to pick up the data from, where to filter the rows before any calculation that you are doing, group by to group the data by any function that you are applying, an aggregator function such as average, mean, maximum, having to filter the data after the calculation is done, so to filter on columns that you are creating in your query, and order by to sort your final table by any column that you have on your output. Okay, so this was a recap on all the query clauses that we've seen so far. Don't get too confused by them, because this question of having, where, group by are specifically tricky for beginners. Don't worry about it. It's totally normal to feel a bit confused if you are at the moment. We'll have opportunity to test this during the practical lectures and also to learn a bit more about these clauses throughout the rest of the course. Thank you very much for being there. Let's continue and go now to the practical exercises where you'll study and practice everything that we've learned so far. I'll see you in the next lecture.